Week 12, and we are back. Seahawks are on the way up, and we get to be head ass again. Welcome to Miss Reps with Kanal and Adam. Adam, we're feeling good, aren't we?
I would hope to feel good. We're got a win off of the 49ers. Love to see it, by the way. Held them to 17, points. Obviously, go and check our vid on that. But now we have the leader of the NFC West, who is undefeated to this day in the NFC West, which is the Cardinals at 2-0.
Yeah, and the last time these two teams met up, this is how it came down to it.
Good snap. The hold is good. The kick.
Wide right.
Wide.
And if you read the caption, the last time the Cardinals played the Seahawks, we lost on a missed kick, and which led us to getting Marvin Harrison Jr. And he's one of those guys we got to watch out for this week, right?
That's the fact they say. I still think Prater missed the kick on purpose.
Yeah.
He knew. Prater was like, I know they need a receiver next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was where like I said. So that's well, not like I said, but thinking about it, that's just where the Seahawks and the Cardinals are. It's always going to be a game down to the last point, which is it's funny that you showed that one because it was down to a point. Literally, the spread is a point.
Yeah.
With the score going with the leaning towards the Cardinals as of today. So, hey, look, it might be 28-29, 27-28, all that type of stuff. 7-8.
I will say, to start us off, Vegas has Cardinals as a 1 point favorite. So, I mean, we're playing in Seattle too, so that's a little disrespectful, but we'll take it in stride. But I think that means that the wise guys are thinking the same thing as well too, that it could come down. And if you look at the stats on paper, I mean, we're pretty even teams, like across the board, right?
Yeah. If you want to just wrap it up in like a nice two in terms of passing yards, Seahawks lead that in second in the league, while the Cardinals are 23rd. And then in rushing, though, a very stark contrast. We're 27th in rushing, while the Cardinals are fifth. So we know that to be true. If you at least watch the highlights for the Cardinals, you're going to see Kyler Murray sprinting down for a touchdown, or James Conner sprinting and bowling through football players to get to that to score as well. So. Also, Trey McBride, that tight end, Trey McBride.
and then Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, if you look at like just high level statistics, not even talking like he brought up a good one with the run game versus the pass game. Yards against, both teams allow around 350 yards. Yards per, I mean, they both get about 350 yards. Like, this is, on paper at least, this is going to be one of those games that comes down to its difference makers. And who's those? Just
Probably down to whoever has the ball last, probably, down to the final drive. It's either going to be like how it was with the 49ers, where it's like just a gauntlet of defense with some touchdowns in there, or the opposite, where it's a shootout, but it's all going to come down to that last play, last drive, if you will.
And we can't forget, Arizona's coming off a bye this week, after we're coming off a tough game against the Niners. So that does play a factor.
We didn't have, well, besides the glorious Olu and Abe Lucas coming in and at least providing some stability to the O line. We don't have any major injuries leading into this game, right?
I think Noah Fant is still questionable. His status is kind of up in the air. I mean, we kind of missed him. AJ Barner, I think I like the guy. I think he's going to be a tight end in the league for a long time. It seems like he's got good blocking skills and all that, but you don't have the pass catching ability of Noah Fant. I don't think either team really has a major injury now at this point that I can think of. I mean, we're still missing guys like Uchenna Nwosu, but we're not expecting him back anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Nwosu for the rest of the season. It seems like he'll just be out because that MCL, him tweaking that in the preseason, oof. I think McDonald's going to probably rethink how he does his preseason game, especially towards the end there, because the fact that he's still out to this day is something. But I think Gino can air it out if he needs to, but I would like to see, for this game, some more running. As long as we can rush the ball, we can control the clock more. Because when you pass, sure, you get all the yards in the world and stuff, but you still leave a lot on the clock. And with Kyler Murray and James Conner, like just those two being a combo, besides the other combo of Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., and McBride too. Like they just have, I think their offense is clicking how they want it to click. Their defense is scrappy. I mean, like Buda Baker has 100 total tackles on the season so far. So, I mean, take that as you will compared to our leading tackler and Julian Love at 73. Both in the, I think, similar, if not the same positions at safety.
Yeah.
But that will tell you a lot. Derek Hall, though, leading the team with 6 sacks. So, I mean, hopefully he can have a nice game against Murray. But with how Murray plays and stuff, this one's going to be kind of a tricky game. It depends on what we can stop on the offense. And how can we contain their offense on defense?
Yeah, it's going to require extreme discipline, and I use the word extreme extremely because like you can't James Conner himself is a bowling ball of a man. Like you're going to have to be sound fundamentals when you try to bring him down, and you're going to have to be ready to take a whipping. But Kyler Murray on the other side with what he can do with his legs, you can't. I think there was a play. I think against the Niners, it was Ty Okada, I think, who just completely bit on a pump fake from Brock Purdy that allowed Brock Purdy to scamper for like I think 15 to 16 yards. You got to stay extremely disciplined, keep your feet to the ground, and just bring him down. You can't be fighting for none of that because yes, the Cardinals don't have an elite rush defense. They allow 127 and a half per game, which is good for 19th. You know, they're pretty good, not the best. I mean, compared to at least to like the Rams and Niners were compared to us. But they definitely don't. You definitely don't want to put them in a corner as well because they will start getting kooky with the way that they do things.
Yeah, it's literally going to be down to the wire. I would at least say if our defense can lock up on their offense, I know I kind of said that before, I think that's going to be a major difference in everything because I don't think, like you were kind of saying, their defense is leaky and we definitely should be able to score. If we're doing field goals on this team, we're going to lose. And we personally need to score more than 20 points for this game to work as well. I don't want to be in the 20 to 24 point range for this game, especially when they put up 31 on New York. And New York's defense isn't nothing to scoff at. I think that was one game plan, and then as the game went on. But yeah, like I'm just gonna say like it's gonna be a very close game. Just a 1 point spread, I think it will be covered. But I can see the Seahawks. Well, one, this is another Seahawks must win right here. Because if you go into this and you lose against the Cardinals twice, since we faced them this week and in 2 weeks after, that's going to really set where we can't get the number 1 spot, as well as we have to like fight for a wild card. I don't want to have to do that towards the end of the season. So really, these next 3 games, not just the Cardinals, but I believe it's also the Jets in between, are going to be crucial, starting with this game. So I hope, the Seahawks come out with a win. I do expect them to get a win. I don't think it's going to be like, multiple touchdowns, or anything like that. But I believe the Seahawks come with a win, just like they did with the 49ers.
I think so too. I mean, I would like to believe that the home field advantage still exists. I think we were catching some shade from Pat McAfee about where the 12s got at these days. But I think that the big test is going to be Olu and Abe Lucas in a second week. Obviously, there's a week of tape on them now. I mean, that could have been a factor into how they were playing last week. I don't want to get overhyped on it. They looked very good, but if they can continue that form, I think we have the opportunity to set some sort of a foundation for our offense. And, I think, I'm not sure, I don't follow the Cardinals as closely as other folks do, but they don't have the difference makers or like besides Buda Baker, I'm not too familiar if they have any difference makers. I'm looking at like their sacks numbers. Dante Stills is the leader in sacks with 3.5.
Their defense is scrappy. It's one of those things where like you're not going to call out, a person in particular besides like, the typical ones, but they have a scrappy defense. I mean, they faced the likes of Detroit and held them down to 20 points compared to us when we faced Detroit earlier in the season. This was back in September though. They faced the Bills, they faced Detroit. Granted, they did get beat, if you remember that one, by the Washington Commanders 42-14. That's like their biggest loss to date, second with Green Bay. So otherwise, they know how to fight with the Chargers, Miami. Of course, the Chicago and the New York Jets, you could say they're like lower teams. I'm not even going by record, at least even for the Chicago Bears, because they won that game 29-9. So it's one of those things where like I can't give you like a clear cut like they can have a defense, because if anything, they beat the Rams 41-10. Granted, It's the beginning of the season, however you want to look at that, but their defense, when they're locked in, especially with Buda Baker with 100 total tackles, he's playing lights out this year. So
Yeah.
I think they got a little something there. Don't discredit their defense. I am giving all the credit to their defense, but I think our offense can overcome it.
And here we are. They're on the up and up. I think they've won 4 straight now, and we got the only time whenever we play, the only thing that's going through my head is sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit or something like that. We don't know what we are, and I think it'll come down to that, and it'll definitely. Gino can't be making some of the mistakes that he's been making as of late. He only had one, I guess we could say, in the last game. Which was that pick that was kind of just an airmailed throw.
Yeah, we can't have picks. I'm gonna say if we can get to the point of no picks, that'll be great, because right now Gino is 500, or his ratio is 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season, with 2,781 yards, which a lot of that is garbage time, if you will. Yeah. But I would like to kind of see a lot less interceptions, because at least with Kyler Murray, he's been efficient. 2,058 yards. That's like about 700 or so less. 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So if anything, he's protecting the ball. Yeah. So my thing right now for this week is with Gino, protect that ball. And he protected it more so than his other weeks. Protect the ball, get the ball to your playmakers, or, hey, have a run game. I still am asking for a run game.
To be fair, at least the Cardinals on offense, I mean, they have the same kind of metas as the 49ers do. They got a very good offensive line, a very good running back who can, break through contact, a mobile quarterback that can, throw it down the field, which, maybe Brock Purdy isn't. That's something we got to look out for. Difference makers like Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. I think if the formula it was set last week, I think I could see us forming the same scheme, which was like we played a lot of too high safeties and try to take care of it with our front seven. We try to keep everything in front of us,
like the rest of the NFL has been doing. That's why everyone hasn't been. If you recall that first 6 or 5 weeks or so, it was just like, man, no one's throwing the ball as much. Everyone's doing cover too high, or 2-man high. There you go, 2-man high defense, especially against the Chiefs. Come on now.
Yeah, and who I'm really excited about. I just want to see another week of JSN, man. I just love the way he fucking plays, dude. The guy is so silky.
I want that too, and then complement it with DK, and then of course if they're trying to shut that down, we can run the ball with K9. He's been very efficient with most of his rushing attempts to date, besides the few games where we got stumped. But I really do feel like we have a little bit of a run game. I think it's more of like a outside rushing. I don't know how we are on the inside rush game yet, but my other thing is I think we need to get Charbonnet involved more too. I think we can have a nice 1-2 punch. Granted, don't get it twisted, we're kind of doing like the bell cow with Kenneth Walker here, and then some drives with Charbonnet. But I want Charbonnet to still, like how he was having those 90+ yard games and stuff like that. I still would like that from him.
I think what we've been doing is that I think we want to do these kind of things. It's just we haven't had the success that we want to have, right? Yeah. That's why we've been airing it out so much, and that's why our run game took a massive hit when K9 was injured early in the season, right?
We're trying to play from behind. Try to play from behind in the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. And Charbonnet is definitely one of those bigger guys that would like to run in between the tackles. The kind of guy that he sees the seas parting, and then he's decisive. He'll hit that gap and then he'll just put his shoulder down. K9 is a lot more of the shifty guy, and you can see that with the amount of moves that he makes while he's trying to get up the field. And he's definitely one of the guys that likes to hit the outside and just put the turbo on, right? And so we're gonna definitely have to hit him there on the outside if we want to keep that defense honest. Because if we can get the play action going, then that'll take a lot of pressure off of Gino, and we can maybe have some success on there.
You have a balanced game. I love to hear it. Got anything else for this game, man?
Nothing from me. Anything from you?
I know the Seahawks are gonna win. That's what I'm just gonna say.
You're manifesting it.
I'm manifesting it right now.
The Bird Bowl, baby.
We have no choice. I mean, every team that's not the Cardinals is literally a game off from the first place. So at this point, this is our chance to at least try to tackle Arizona, because right now they're undefeated in the NFC West. And at least let's try to make everyone lose something in the NFC West here.
We're all here for the chaos.
For sure. I'm all here about chaos, man. But yeah, that's all I got on my side.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in here with Missed Reps with me and Adam. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you again next time.
Peace.